Guys, welcome to 2.2. In this video, we're going to talk about multiplication property of equality. And so let's get started. Okay, just like the addition property of equality, where it says whatever you add to one side, you do the other. Same thing here. Whatever you multiply on one side, you do the other. Like if you need to move, uh, if you need to move something, you undo multiplication with division, you undo division with multiplication, and that's how you move from one side of the equal sign to the other. So whatever you do to one side or the other is the overall idea that we're trying to convey here. Okay, so on number one, we have negative 8n equals 16. So I want to get n by itself. If the term that n is in is not by itself, I want to do that first. But here, this is all I got. I got negative 8 n, and I need to undo. So this is negative 8 times n. So I'm going to divide both sides by negative 8. Okay, so that goes away. N equals negative 2. That's all there is to it. I personally like this stuff, multiplying and dividing, more than I like adding and subtracting, because it is as straightforward as that. But everybody's entitled to their opinion. All right, number two. Let's see. You got negative 15 equals 9z. So that's going to give you need to divide by 9 on both sides. That's going to give me z equals negative 15 over 9. Okay, but remember, if it's not in lowest terms, if you have a fraction, you have to make sure it's in lowest terms. And if it's not, then you're not done. Right? And if you stop there, you're wrong. Okay, a fractional answer is not complete until it's in simplest form. Okay, so I still have z, and I need to figure out, all right, what number goes into both 9 and 15? Well, it turns out 3 goes in both of them. And so 3 goes into 9 3 times and 15 5 times, and the whole answer is going to stay negative. So that's my answer. All right, I got to undo the 18m on number 3 and divide both sides by 18. And anytime you have 0 in the top of the fraction, the answer is just simply going to be 0. So that's simple. Okay. All right, on number 4. You can do this in one step or two steps. And if you have a scientific calculator handy, then I want to encourage you to do this in one step. Right? So let's talk about this. When you have a fraction like this, you can multiply by the denominator and then divide by the numerator. And because this is negative, you either multiply by negative 2 or divide by negative 9. And you could do that would be the way you would do it in two steps. You would take care of the 2 and then take care of the 9. And then that would be your two steps way to do this problem. Or you could flip it and multiply by the reciprocal. So I can multiply this thing by negative 2 over 9 on both sides. And that's going to get rid of my fraction on the right. So that's just going to be x that I'm left with because everything cancels. Okay, and then 9 goes into 63 7 times. And 7 times negative 2 is negative 14. So once again, that's how you would do that in one step as opposed to two steps. If you'd like more clarification on this problem, please reach out. I'd be happy to help you. Okay, number 5. This problem, anytime you see a fraction, you should think division. Okay, and so let me give you a quick demonstration. The division symbol looks like this. That's a fraction with 2 dots representing the place values. Okay, so when you see a fraction being division, okay, I have to undo division. Well, how do you undo division? You multiply. So in this case, I'm going to multiply both sides by negative 3. So this is x equals, so let me say negative 3, negative 3. That's going to be negative 6 times negative 3 is positive 18. All right. All right, on number 6, I need to move this first using the addition property of equality that we talked about in the last video. And that's going to leave me with 6x equals 12. And at this point, this is when the multiplication property of equality kicks in. And I divide both sides by 6, x equals 2. Okay, moving right along. On number 7, move the 6 first. Negative 6. So that's going to be 3z. 14 minus 6 is 8. And you divide both sides by 3. Z equals 8 over 3. Now, an answer to a math problem can be anything on the number line. So just because it's a fraction doesn't mean it's the wrong answer. It might mean you want to check your work. But at the same time, if you get a fraction in an answer, check your work and everything checks out. Make sure it's in lowest terms and then call it a day. And then going back real quick, starting with number 6, 7, and now 8. All right, these are what we call multi-step equations because you have to get the term by itself before you can get the variable by itself. So there's multiple things that you have to do in order to solve this problem. So if you ever see instructions in a textbook or Pearson, this is something along the lines of multi-step equations. This is what they're talking about. All right, number 8. Again, I'd like to keep, you have a positive 10x on the left and a 35x on the right. When dealing with an equal sign, like to just get it's a personal preference of mine to keep the x positive. So in that case, if that's the way you're following, then I'm just going to move the negative, I'm going to move the 10x to this side and go from there. It's going to be 25x plus 1. If you go the other way, it's not wrong. But again, it's a personal preference. All right. You just got to get X by itself. And if you move it to a side that makes it negative or keeps it negative, then you have to deal with that negative before you can truly say you're done with the problem. So again, just personal preference. Subtract 1 from both sides. So it's going to be 5 equals 25x. Now, here's what a lot of students struggle with. All right. They know when they look at this that they're going to have to divide by 25. And so they get 5 over 25 equals x. And they know the multiplication factor 5 times 5 is 25. And so they'll immediately say, the answer is going to be 5. Be careful with that. All right. You're not wrong per se, but the answer is incomplete. 5 does go into 25 5 times. But where's the 25 and where's the 5? Right now, 5 is on top, 25 is on the bottom. And so my final answer here is going to be 1/5, not 5. Also, that's a -5. So my final answer should be negative. Okay. So be careful. If you're dividing a big number into a small number, your answer is going to be a fraction. So watch out for that. Okay. Number 9. If a number is divided by -3, so some number x equals -3, or divided by -3, the result is 7. And it says find the number. You could go ahead and solve it without it telling you to find the number. Since it says find the number, we have to make sure that we follow through and not just leave it like rewriting the statement. So multiply both sides by -3. And so x is going to be -21. Okay. Now, if you've ever seen Top Gun or Top Gun Maverick or any other kind of movie that talks about airplanes or fighter jets, then you understand, you know what Mach is. Mach is is a measurement of speed named after the man who discovered the formula. But it indicates that the speed of an aircraft, in miles per hour, divided by the speed of sound. All right. So every time you cross that sound barrier or multiples of that sound barrier, we hit a new Mach. And I mentioned Top Gun Maverick because in the first 10, 15 minutes of the movie, uh, Tom Cruise is trying to fly a plane going 10 Machs, or Mach 10 is what they say, um, which is super fast. And it'd be interesting to figure out using this formula, how fast is he actually trying to go? And you could, if you're dividing by 740, all you have to do is really multiply 740 times 10 to figure out how fast he was going in that plane. And the answer is really fast. Okay, so it says use the formula to determine the speed in miles per hour of the aircraft that is going 2.25, Mach 2.25. Okay, M is, we know what the Mach is. The Mach is 2.25. We're trying to find A. Okay, over 740. Okay, so we're trying to find miles per hour here. So I'm going to multiply 2.25 times 7, or rather, I'm going to multiply 740 by both sides. And that's going to result in an answer of A equals 1665 miles per hour, which again is really fast. But you know what's faster? Tom Cruise. Anyways, that's 2.2. If you have any questions, please reach out, and I'll see you in the next video.